So we got a new patch just dropped here, 2.4.3 coming soon. You see this dropped June 27th, so just minutes ago. So I'm going to jump in and take a look at it here. We're going to take a look at it together and check it out. So first, I'm going to have to pretty much read through all of this. It's a little bit on the long side because this is my first look, not too crazy long. So let me go ahead. Since the timeless classic was resurrected, daring heroes have diligently decimated ranks of hell and demons across all 5 acts of Diablo 2 Resurrected, forever loosening the terror of hold on a sanctuary. In 2.43 goes live on June 29th, so that's important to note. June 29th, so that's only a week and a half, so that's kind of interesting. We're introducing a variety of new features, improvements set to elevate multiplayer lobbies for console and PC, so all console people will be happy, and PC obviously as well, but mainly console. They're getting hopefully some improvements. Let's see what exactly it's going to be. Accompanying these new features are quality of life improvements and bug fixes. Partying up with like-minded demon slayers is a cornerstone of Diablo experience. Because we've been closely monitoring your feedback around multiplayer lobbies, and the changes highlighted below are a direct result of this. Sanctuary wasn't built in a day. While we have made great strides in refining various aspects of Diablo 2 Resurrected, we are dedicated to enhancing your pursuit of the Dark Wanderer even further. As always, we want to make sure the flames of this beloved classic burn hotter and brighter than ever before, and invite your feedback to help us aid in the communal effort. Thank you for the $5. Slay that like button, says Riley. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that super chat, my man. Now make ready the heroes of Sanctuary. You will need the knowledge below to topple the demons that lie ahead. So back-end improvements, console lobbies, PC lobbies, magic find bonuses. Oh god, that's alarming, but we'll take a look at what we got here. Bug fixes, quality of life improvements. That might be where the thing is. So back end, one common issue among players is that the game list did not populate with enough games, even when they felt it should have been. You create a game in D2R, it gets hosted on one of the many game sites in your region. Prior to Ladder's launch, the game list would only populate with games from one single game site in your region, whichever you had the best connection to. Okay, so that they just kind of fixed that essentially. So this was done to prevent a high quality gameplay experience in any game, and you may join in the lobby, but we found our criteria to be overly aggressive. Okay, so I'm not going to read every single second of this, but they're eventually going to have it so it populates each individual game or lobby with more games, instead of just pinpointing one specific server that you were on, so that it would pick the one that would work the best. So we'll jump down to this highlighted section right here to provide even more options for those looking to join games. We've also doubled the maximum number of games that can appear in the games list at a given time from 20 to 40. So that's something there, right? The rest of the stuff here is just kind of describing the other stuff. Plus, we've fine-tuned game details to refresh in almost real time. You must manually refresh your game list, which is something we decided to keep so that the game list would not shift while players selected a game. That's okay, that's fine with me. These improvements have been applied to both console and PC experience. Okay, so not a whole lot of changes so far listed. Right here, 20 to 40. There is more. That's the back-end improvement. Here's the console lobby update here. So following the successful launch of the Ladder Season 1, the team has turned their focus to features that required the most attention. Console Party Finder was the top item. So that's important to note here as we get into seeing what they changed here. Bringing multiple improvements to the console multiplayer experience, providing new and improved ways to create and find games by replacing Party Finder and Game Creator and Game List. So this is how it was before. I've never looked at how it was on console, so this is going to kind of be sort of new to me and new to everybody else here, but even how it was before, I wasn't really sure. So selecting the play button on the main menu with your selected online hero will now present 3 options for online play. So this is how it will be now, I suppose, which is enter a private game, create a public game, or join a public game. Okay, so enter a private game is pretty obvious. Enter a game with not populated to the game list. The only way for other players to join this is straight from the friend list or by invite. So Game creator, create a public game that will be populated on the game list and view the game list, use the search feature, or join public games. So it says right here, use the search feature. So it says, I guess that means they're adding a search feature, huh? For sure. Let's go ahead and keep looking down. Here's the game creator, what it's going to look like. If this hopefully that looks good to all of you guys. Game creator will equip you with the ability to quickly create a game of type of game you desire. To aid you in doing so, all previous game categories that were available in Party Finder have returned to the game creator. Okay, so you would pick what type of game it's going to be. I guess that's just kind of letting people know what the game's going to be there. So we've also added an additional category called Custom. This category consists of 2 options, public game or a password protected game. Those are pretty obvious to what it's going to be. Creating a public game here, this is under password protected games. Creating a public game with a password that must be entered to join. Just like in the PC lobbies, a password protected game will not appear in the game list. Okay, so that's all that kind of stuff. Now coming down, looking at the game list down here. If you can see this, is a little on the small side, but it says Act 1 Hell, and then with a random number. Act 5 Hell with a random number. So that seems like, how do you guys feel about that? Is that a good improvement here for you console players, or what do you think about that? So the people on consoles seem to think that this is an incredibly amazing update in the chat. So I'm gonna have to go along with their opinion. They know better than I do because I'm not a console player. But the chat says this console list thing right here is amazing. So that's very good that everyone's getting the some of these updates here. Anyways, so a little bit more stuff down here. Selecting the game list button will display the 40 matching that they mentioned earlier, that now there'll be 40 games in there. Other players that your selected character is able to join. To aid finding specific games, you can use the search feature to locate a specific game and filter games displaying using keywords within the filter. Okay, so it sounds like you can filter and search on here. Let's see what's here. Filter and game. Search it there. By ping you can search it for. Okay, so I don't see exactly complete search thing there, but it says down here that you can search by keyword. So we gotta look and see where that's at. So pressing the triangle button on PlayStation controller, Y on Xbox, X on Nintendo Switch, blah blah blah, other consoles, will open the search game name menu. Here you can search on both custom and pre-made games names using the same familiar layout that you would during the game creation. Searching for a game name using the custom category will only return game results that were created using the custom category. Okay, so it only searches through the custom game category, but that's perfectly fine. You know, if you typed in Shaco or something, then you could search Shaco for the custom game name, so that would make sense. So searching using one of our pre-made categories will only return game results that were created using the same game type category. For example, selecting the pre-made Den of Evil search option will only yield pre-made results. Inversely, searching Den of Evil under the custom game category will yield custom games named with those phrases within them. Custom games with or without a password can be joined directly from the search game name menu. Alright, so it sounds like you can literally just search for keywords. So that sounds pretty wicked, to be perfectly honest. And then this is just saying it's similar to what I described before, the up to 40, and that you have to hit the refresh button. So down here on the PC's lobby part, we have got a picture here of it, essentially. Let's go ahead and read this real quick. Not a whole lot here, but we want multiplayer lobbies to be the bridge to many hours of slaying demons, collecting loot, and memorable moments with your friends. Unfortunately, many players have experienced difficulties in finding specific types of games that they would like to join. To try to solve this, we added a search functionality in the lobby, so that's sick. Specific keywords or game names can now be typed to return in the list game based upon search terms. So now they did add, I don't necessarily, search right here, Diablo. It says search and then someone typing. Don't know how I didn't see that, but that's amazing that you can literally search if you want a chaos game, if you want a bail game, you want to search for someone trading a Shaco, if you want to search for someone selling a Shaco or trying to trade it away or trade for it. So that's pretty nasty right there. A good change in my opinion. Pretty obvious one as well. With this patch, the game list will now display each game's connection quality in the tooltip that pops up when you hover over the mouse. Okay, that's interesting. That's kind of neat. Games will populate in the game list based upon their connection quality, offering you expanded knowledge Okay, so that's kind of neat too, that the ones at the top will be the best connection for you. Okay, so you can decide, I don't care if it's a fast connection, I'm just jumping in this. This is a trade game. Who really cares, right? So that's kind of cool. I like that change as well right there. All right, we're going to come down here. Magic Find bonus. This is going to be interesting. Let's see what this is. Ooh, this is probably the most alarming thing for me, but you feel an intense rush of energy coursing through your veins. A faint interaction, humming overrides your own pulse. From June 30th to July 4th, a mysterious energy will grant you a 50% buff to Magic Find, providing you an increased chance to receive legendary, magic, rare, set, or unique loots. As I don't like that they said they even mentioned legendary in here, but a legendary item, not like a literal legendary item, but like, oh my gosh, this is legendary. So they use it like that as I don't know. I don't like that, but that just kind of caught me off guard. But yeah, that caught me off guard a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. They're using it as like a pronoun instead of a verb or something, you know. So don't worry about that one, guys. Unique loot as the drops from slain foes. This bonus stacks with additional increase to Magic Find to provide your items. So it's not doubling your Magic Find, but it's giving you 50%, like 50 Magic Find, I think is what that means. It's not like if you have 400 Magic Find, you now have 600 Magic Find. I don't think that's what it means. I think it means you get 50 extra Magic Find for those dates. It's just kind of a cute event, actually. Now that I see it, I'm perfectly fine with it. So that's why you don't want to overreact. Don't pull a sweet Phil and overreact about everything. I can overreact sometimes. Not a shocker to my regular viewers. This is kind of a neat, interesting little event. I actually kind of like it, to be honest. Not to be a permanent Magic Find bonus forever or something like that, but this right here, I like it actually. I kind of like it now. So let's keep on scrolling down. I kind of like that cute little event here. Quality of life improvement. So gameplay. Players can now start a new whirlwind, leap, or leap attack immediately after the whirlwind ends. Okay, I like that change as well. Whirlwind, that's like a little baby buff or like a little fix or whatever you want to call it to how it should have been before anyways, right? Changes the logic for determining how often whirlwind attacks occur. Whirlwind now incorporates increased attack speed from all equipment. So that's going to actually boost up whirlwind once again with that, right? The frames between each whirlwind attack are equal to the attack frames of a basic attack for the character, modified by the increased attack speed. While dual wielding, the attack frames for each weapon will be average rounding up. Overall, whirlwind attacks should be at least as fast as they were before. Slower weapons will attack notably faster. Okay, that's interesting. So that will help out Whirlwind a little bit. I don't feel like this is going to be like, oh man, Whirlwind's sick as bleep now. But, I mean, a little boost to Whirlwind, I think, is minimally to say needed, right? I would say it at least needed. All right, move down to the next one right here. You've got added a new loot to cube skill for console people rejoice. They're gonna love this. There's a new button you can send your items directly to the cube. So in the general skills menu, using the skill you on an item will pick up and place it in their crowded cube if there is space. So there you go. Console players can now stack their entire inventory with charms and then throw stuff into the cube. So now they added a bindable hotkey for the mouse and keyboard to directly open the Herodic cube if it is in your inventory. Okay, that's interesting. I kind of like that, I guess. That way you don't have to open your inventory, right-click on the cube, then open it. You can just hit the button and boom, you got the cube open. I never even thought about that for whatever reason, but I like it, I guess. That doesn't really... It's a little thing that would just make some people happy, so I'm kind of cool with that. Players can now bulk assign stat points using a controller. Another thing that console players were talking about. I wish this stuff would have been done before, but at least they are getting to it now. They are getting to it now, at least. A confirmation prompt will now appear when bulk assigning all remaining stat points on both PC and console. This option is unavailable when using a legacy graphics. Alright, well that's kind of a good, just to kind of help people from not making a giant mistake. It's a little thing. I think I'm fine with it, I suppose. I'll have to see it, but I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. Added an automap open setting to allow players to set their preferred automap position. Okay, so just making it easier to put the automap somewhere. That might be something better for console or matter more for console, but So here's some online changes here. You can now double click on a game to join it from the PC lobby. Thank you. I do like that one. I hate having to click on it and then go up and clicking join for absolutely no apparent reason. Players on Twitch can now join a friend's game via the in-game friends list. So apparently there's a thing for console that I was not fully aware of, but that's a good change. This one they mentioned before. You can now see double the games, 20 to 40. Game list details in both the details panel and in the list now load faster upon selecting a game. That's just a little thing that's, you know, appreciated, I suppose. Friends playing D2 are now sorted to the top of the friends list. That's another thing that should have been obviously had before already. Console players now have the option in the options menu to toggle game name visibility. Oh, okay, so up in the upper right hand corner or whatever, like up in the upper right hand corner of the game, you didn't used to be able to turn that off on console apparently. All right, and there's a large list of bug fixes here. I usually don't read over the bug fixes too much, you know, stability issues, cool, we definitely want that. Miscellaneous bugs with the languages or whatever, you know, there's some other things, character select, where the mercenaries were cost was inconsistent. I do remember a little bit something about that. So fix an issue where corpse explosion would not auto target corpses when using the right click. Thank you. Actually, I'm going to read over that particular one right there. We're just going to pick out some of the important ones. This one was like the bane of my existence because I always played right-click corpse explosion with it, and it wouldn't like auto-target when you would click something. It was so annoying, so annoying. So, and here's the big dog. Yeah, we did it. We did it. We got Kane can now identify stuff in the Herodric Cube. Fix an issue where short distance whirlwinds could end up executing a single attack. I mean, it's good. Some whirlwind fixes here, right? Fixes an issue where whirlwind would still apply properties and damage from a broken weapon. Yeah, that's whatever. That's, I guess if your weapon's broken, you don't want that applied, right? I guess that's kind of cheating. Not cheating, but a little thing. Fix an issue where players could impersonate developers by mimicking the chat font color. So there you go. No loot filter, no loot filter, no currency tabs, no gem or rune stacking, none of that stuff. So we didn't get any of that stuff, but there are some okay fixes in here. We'll see, because this is just dropping boom patch. This isn't like dropping for the next ladder or anything like that, the next ladder season. So that stuff could always come maybe, but it's unfortunate. You know, you get your hopes up when you see a patch announcement like this. But I mean, for a mid-season patch, I wouldn't normally expect for something that drastically of a change to come for something like this. So I guess I'm happy with this post. A lot of the stuff in here, nothing in here is bad in my opinion. I don't see anything to be upset about for literally anybody. It's only good stuff. The you know, as I reacted earlier, this whole thing alarmed me at first, but to see what it is, it's just a cool little event for a few days. No big deal over the holiday weekend. For the United States anyways, holiday weekend. I don't know what holidays it is in other places, but legendary items, delete that from the post, please. I don't want it to see, it just looks bad. So, yeah. Hey, future YouTube video. Let me know your opinions down in the comments, what you think of this whole post and the change, right? So, hey, peace out, YouTube, and don't forget, keep slaying. Hoorah!